make room for our construction crews, we've drastically reduced floor samples, one-of-a-kinds, and special buys. Save on thousands of pieces. Plus, take an extra 15% off all blue tag items. The latest styles, the very best prices. Beautiful rooms begin at Belfort Furniture, Washington's premier furniture mall.
Good Morning Washington, the area's #1 morning news.
Good morning, America. It's 8 a.m., the inauguration of Donald J. Trump. Political outsider, billionaire businessman, reality TV star, just hours away from taking the oath of office as the 45th president of the United States.
We're going to do things that haven't been done for our country for many, many decades. It's going to change.
Overnight, his warm-up speech to fellow Americans cheering him at the Lincoln Memorial.
You're not forgotten anymore, that I can tell you.
He sang along with the crowd.
God bless the USA.
A whirlwind evening of pomp and pageantry.
This morning, the White House prepares to welcome the new first family. America's next First Lady, Melania Trump. Ivanka Trump, a powerful new presence in Washington. More from our exclusive interview one-on-one with the first daughter.
I have to figure out how I can best add value and how I can best inspire and empower women.
The ABC News Powerhouse political team covering every angle of this inauguration as Donald Trump prepares to be sworn in as president.
Live from Washington, D.C., this is a special edition of GMA, the inauguration of Donald J. Trump.
And we do say good morning, America. We are live this morning in Washington, yes, for our special coverage of the inauguration. And let's take a look at Blair House.
Yeah, that is Blair House, where the whole Trump family spent the night. That's where they are right now. Just a few minutes. They're expected to leave Blair House and go just a couple blocks away to St. John's Episcopal Church. It's right there. That is the Church of Presidents, and it's an inauguration tradition dating back to James Madison to have a ceremony there in the morning.
Paula Ferris is there. We're going to check in with her in just a little bit. They have a packed day before their final stop is there, their new home, the Trumps and the White House. They're going to visit the Obamas there just after they leave church and start sitting with the president and first lady, tea, coffee. Then they'll head to the Capitol, of course, for the swearing-in ceremony.
Actually, the new president, Donald J. Trump, does not drink tea or coffee. For her, we hear that hot chocolate is his morning beverage of choice. We'll see if the White House has that. As we said, it's an historic day. It's already underway. ABC's Cecilia Vega is on the inauguration platform at the Capitol. Starting to fill up. What's going on there, Cecilia?
Starting to fill up, George, and starting to sprinkle. I got to say, everyone out here is hoping this weather cooperates, although Donald Trump has said it's fine. If it rains, everyone will see that, in fact, his hair is really his hair. So we'll wait to see what happens out here. You can hear him doing the final audio checks. The very soon-to-be 45th President of the United States started his morning with what else but a tweet, and that is not the only thing different about this incoming administration and the day today out here, guys. There will be less ceremony today. There will be a lot fewer celebrities than we've seen in past inaugurations. And we are learning a bit more this morning about the speech that Donald Trump is going to be giving. It's expected to be about 20 minutes long. We're told that he's been practicing daily. They even had a presidential podium flown to New York for him to practice on in real time so he could get that real experience. We know he'll be using the Lincoln Bible. President Obama, after President Lincoln, is the only other president to have used that during their swearing in. And this will be a speech in very personal terms, we're told, and he will talk about themes about America first and unity. And something we've been talking about all morning is that he is taking office in times where this is a divided nation, and that he will need to hit these themes of unity to try and reach out and divide this country. The big question today out here, guys, is does Donald Trump on Inauguration Day stick to the teleprompter? We will see
We'll
soon.
find out. And Cecilia, one of the signs of that division, of course, is this boycott that appears to be going on. Democratic members of Congress, now several dozen, will not be at the inauguration ceremony today.
More than 60, George, and in modern history, we've never seen any numbers like this. You know, I was on the Hill this week speaking with a number of them, and their reasons are different. Some of them say that they feel that Donald Trump's soon-to-be presidency is an illegitimate one, and so they are protesting for that one. Others say they are not happy with the tone that he has set in this country and the discourse and the language that he's used about minority communities and about women. And so for that, they say they will be staying home. Many Many of them tell me they'll be attending protests and rallies in their own districts all around the country. But you're right, as these seats begin to fill up here this morning, those 66 seats, I think the number is right now, will be empty today.
Looking at those empty seats. All right. Thank you, Cecilia, as we look at those that will not be attending. Let's go to ABC's Paula Ferris right now. She's live at St. John's Episcopal Church, where the president-elect and his wife, they'll leave Blair House, and they'll attend a morning service there. What are you seeing there, Paula?
Well, first of all, this bus just pulled in front of St. John's Episcopal Church. People have been arriving since about 7:30, as you mentioned, Robin. We're expecting the president-elect and his family as well as members of the senior transition staff to arrive for this morning service. We've already seen members of Trump's hopeful cabinet, Nikki Haley, Ben Carson, Tom Price, arrive. But this is what's expected to happen inside this church. It's going to be about an hour-long service. Cameras are not allowed, so unfortunately we won't be able to see what's going on during the service. But once Trump does arrive here for this 8:30 service, he will be in good company, Robin. That's because Presidents Reagan, Bush Sr., Bush Jr., President Obama all attended services here at St. John's the morning of their respective inaugurations.
Yes, it is part of the tradition. And explain to people why it is considered the Church of Presidents.
It is called the Church of Presidents, Robin. I'm glad you asked, because every president dating back to Madison has attended services here in some form or fashion. And if you really dig into the history, I mean, it gives you goosebumps. This church was erected in 1816, and the president's pew is pew 54. That doesn't necessarily mean that the president always sat in that pew. For instance, Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War would slip in through the back door of this church and sit in the rear of the church for some quiet moments of reflection. And Robin, I imagine Donald Trump, the president-elect, will have quite a few moments of reflection during this morning's service.
No doubt. All right. Thank you, Paula.
He's going to be going there in just a few minutes. Already the crowd's gathering on the mall. Amy Robach is there. Tight security today, Amy.
People are slowly coming into the mall. It's starting to fill up. You can see all the way towards the Capitol, but they are expecting, where I'm standing here, for it to be filled from wall to wall with people. About 700 to 900,000 people are expected to flood the mall over the next couple of hours. But again, going through extremely long security lines to get to this point. And that number is fairly robust. Of course, it's a lot less than what President Obama had back in 2009, which was estimated to be about 1.8 million, but a lot more than George W. had back in 2001, which was about 300,000 people. And the folks who are coming into the mall, I will say, are being serenaded with some pretty awesome music. I gotta say, I'm enjoying the picks. Elvis playing right now. I'm Still Standing was just playing My Way before that, so you can kind of see the theme here of the morning as we all await Donald J. Trump to be sworn into office as the 45th president. But the rain isn't keeping anyone away so far, and it's just misting right now, guys.
Yeah,
Back to you.
Thank you, Amy. Not nearly as bad as they thought it was going to be. And all eyes are still on Blair House, because once the Trump family leaves there, they'll head to church, and that's when things will really start to pick up. And we will continue our special coverage of the inauguration of Donald J. Trump right here on GMA.
GMA's morning menu is brought to you by the fast, powerful cough relief of Robitussin, because it's never just a cough.
Technology is useful. I just bought a book, and while I was telling you about the book, I downloaded a song. Oh, and full disclosure, when we were chatting about that song thing, someone arranged a date. Guilty. The point is, life is digital. So CarMax created a site where you can reserve a car online. Come in when it's convenient, your car will be waiting. Just another thing to make buying a car better for you, reads this tweet that I just posted. Oh, that appears to be trending. LOL.
For 2 weeks in a row, Hidden Figures is the #1 movie in America that families everywhere can't stop celebrating.
Deal me in.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We all get there together, or we don't get there at all.
Hidden Figures, rated PG.
I love Triscuit. Start simply with 3 ingredients. This is a twist on a classic. Crunchy PB and blackberry jam. The lemon zest is really great. I'm Megan Gibson, owner of PB and Jams.
It's JCPenney's Stretch Your Penny sale. Get Exertion activewear for women and kids. Buy one, get one for a penny. Get the tank and the capris, the tees and the shorts. Plus save $10 when you spend $25 or more with coupon. Hurry, and Sunday. That's getting your pennies worth.
Maybe Almond Breeze tastes so good because it's the only almond milk made with California-grown Blue Diamond almonds. Of course, if you ask one of our almond growers, there's no maybe about it. Almond Breeze. The best almonds make the best almond milk.
How was your honeymoon?
No one's around, let me stay with you. This moment, we feel it, secret is ours.
It was great.
The magic begins when Jif Fresh roasts peanuts to make peanut butter so deliciously creamy. It can even bring a kid out of her shell. That's why choosy moms choose Jif.
Vision insurance can be hard to understand. What's covered? What's not? At VisionWorks, we take hundreds of plans, including Davis Vision. Allow us to help you get the most from your insurance benefits. And now get 50% off your second pair when you use your insurance. VisionWorks.
Hi, I'm Frank. I take Movantik for OIC, opioid-induced constipation. Had a bad back injury. My doctor prescribed opioids, which helped with the chronic pain, but backed me up. Big time. Tried prunes, laxatives, still constipated. Had to talk to my doctor. She said, "How long you been holding this in?" That was my Movantik moment. My doctor told me that Movantik is specifically designed for OIC and can help you go more often. Don't take Movantik if you have a bowel blockage or a history of them. Movantik may cause serious side effects, including symptoms of opioid withdrawal, severe stomach pain and/or diarrhea, and tears in the stomach or intestine. Tell your doctor about any side effects and about medicines you take. Movantik may interact with them, causing side effects. Why hold it in? Have your Movantik moment. Talk to your doctor about opioid-induced constipation. If you can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
So, what do you think? The Santa Fe Sport or that Tucson?
Well, both drive great. They've got a lot of cool features.
Plus, they both come with America's best warranty.
You all right, man? And unlike me, they have traction control with all-wheel drive.
Better is the reason to buy Hyundai. And this is the reason to buy now. Get the Tucson for $179 a month or 0% APR financing. Hurry in for these great offers. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
Right in the crumple zone.
It is Inauguration Day. We are still watching Blair House. The Trump family is there. They will be leaving and heading to church shortly, and when that happens, you'll see it live here on Good Morning America. But let's bring in our political team now. Our analyst, Matthew Dowd, and Chief Global Affairs Correspondent, Martha Raddatz, are keeping us company right now. You are not shy about letting your feelings be known. What do you need to hear, or what do you expect to hear from Donald Trump today?
Well, I think we're in obviously an unprecedented time with a lot of things that happen unexpectedly, including Election Day for most people in the country. I am struck by where the country is today, which is, to me, it's much more akin to where we were in 1861 and how divided the country is. I think that the weight on Donald Trump today is how do you bridge or attempt to bridge some of those divides. There's many people that didn't want him, that don't expect him to, and there's many people that do want him that don't care if he does or not. But I remember George W. Bush felt that weight in the aftermath of his election, and he did everything possible he could to try to unify the country.
And it goes beyond the speech, because after election night, the speech that he made, the tone of that, and people thought that he was really trying to unite the country, and everybody, many people were really taken by it and appreciative of it. But then he went back to his Twitter account and saying some things that were very difficult for people to.
Well, he's in unusual territory because we've never had a president. He got a bump after election night when he gave that speech, and everybody said, let's give him a chance. And then his numbers of how the country sees him have deteriorated between that time and election and Inauguration Day. We've never seen that. Most every single president we've seen has risen as he's gone to Election Day, and on Inauguration Day he hasn't.
And Martha, the president-elect has laid out some markers for the world as well during this transition, particularly North Korea and China. And one of the things we all have to be ready for today is, will the world be testing Donald Trump on his first day in office.
And whether it'll be today or in the coming days, there's going to be a test. And I think the most likely place, speaking of tests, is North Korea. They've got some missiles ready to launch. You know, they've done it dozens of times over the past couple of years, but they've also tested nuclear weapons. One of the tweets Donald Trump put out in the last few weeks was, North Korea just stated that it is in the final stages of developing a nuclear weapon capable of reaching parts of the U.S. It won't happen. You know what they call that? A red line.
They call that a red line. And one of the things we've seen is that today we're going to have the incoming Secretary of Defense, James Mattis, confirmed by the Senate. We also will have the Homeland Security, General John Kelly, confirmed as well, but no Secretary of State. And there are many, many vacancies right now in the national security team in the White House.
Many vacancies, but he's also going to keep a few people around in the national security realm. Brett McGurk, who does ISIS, who does counterterrorism, counter-ISIS. He's keeping a few of those people. He's keeping the Deputy Secretary of Defense in place until they can be replaced, just so that transition is a smooth
And a Deputy Secretary of State as well. We're going to have an Acting Secretary of State as well.
Acting Secretary of State.
And, you know, this first day, Matthew Dowd, you were there, of course, for George W. Bush, is so magical in some ways, but then the reality of the office hits home right away.
Yeah, I was talking to Corey before he came on earlier today, and I was relating to him. I said, it's such a great moment for everybody that's been involved in the campaign and everybody that worked for him. But then not long after he takes the oath on the Bible, you feel the tremendous weight about what is about to face you. You now stand alone. There's nobody to push off against. You stand alone. You can't say, well, can Barack Obama handle that? Or can Bill Clinton handle that? It's up to you then. And that office starts receiving incoming.
And you have the nuclear codes with you at all time. If there's anything more sobering, that's it.
It's all on you. And all eyes are on George, because as we're talking, he is glued, because we're watching the Blair House, watching every move in and out to see if the Trumps will be leaving anytime soon. And when it happens, you're going to see it as we continue our live coverage of Inauguration Day, as the crowds are forming, eyes there on the Blair House, the Trumps preparing to head to church. We're with them every step of the way for you.
Communication builds teamwork, and teamwork creates opportunity. For any player, for any coach, for any team, the art of collaboration builds champions.
You don't let anything keep you sidelined. That's why you drink Ensure with 9 grams of protein and 26 vitamins and minerals. For the strength and energy to get back to doing what you love. Ensure, always be you.
Introducing the new turbocharged Volkswagen All-Track with 4Motion all-wheel drive, soon to be everywhere.
My bladder wake me up from my sweet dreams, thanks to Tenor Not Tonight. Only Tenor overnight underwear with its secure barrier system gives you triple protection from leaks, odor, and moisture. Tenor lets you be you.
Try Nivea Essentially Enriched Body Lotion. The unique formula with nourishing almond oil leaves skin smoother, moisturized for 24 hours. Nivea Essentially Enriched for noticeably smoother skin.
We ask that cast members be Christians. I am one. What if you drop a single spot on me?
That is not what Jesus was about.
Isn't this why we do what we do? I don't know how this thing with God works, but I like what it does.
Gavin Stone, rated PG.
Quaker breakfast flats are crafted with delicious ingredients that help keep you going. We bake our wholesome Quaker Oats with this and more. Quaker Breakfast Flats helps satisfy your morning hunger with every single bite. Quaker Breakfast Flats.
Yeah, so Mom's got this cold. Hashtag stuffy nose, hashtag no sleep. I got it. Hashtag mouth breather.
Yep, we've got a mouth breather. Well, just put on a Breathe Right strip and pow! It instantly opens your nose up to 38% more than cold medicine alone, so you can breathe and sleep. Shut your mouth and say goodnight, mouth breathers. Breathe Right.
How do you become America's best-selling brand?
Breathing, let's go.
You make it protected.
Just trying to be safe.
You make it hard-working. You make it so everyone's happy. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Now get a Ford Escape with 0% financing for 60 months, or choose $3,500 cash back, or lease an Escape for just $199 a month, only at your local Ford dealer.
Welcome back to GMA. That is a live look at Blair House right now. The whole Trump family spent the night there as they prepared for Inauguration Day. In just a few minutes, we expect them to come out, start to head on that short trip to St. John's Church, the Church of the Presidents, where the president-elect will begin his day. There it is right there, built in 1816. Most inaugurations days, most presidents go there for their first service before starting their day. And ABC's Paula Ferris is there. Good morning, Paula.
Hi there, George. And, you know, we are expecting Donald Trump any moment now, about 10 minutes until the service is supposed to get underway. Here's what we've learned. We know that there will not be cameras inside the church, but we do know a little bit about what will be preached from that podium. The pastor, his name is Dr. Robert Jeffress. He's the senior pastor from the First Baptist Church in Dallas. And the title of his sermon, George, is When God Chooses a Leader. Okay, this is being dubbed as a private prayer service. And he'll be preaching from the book of Nehemiah. It's an Old Testament book, and using parallels between what God called Nehemiah to do, which was build a wall, and what Donald Trump is going to do, and that's build a wall. Nehemiah was called to build a wall around the city of Jerusalem to fortify it and to protect it from its enemies. And he sees the parallels between Nehemiah and Donald Trump. He said Nehemiah had his critics, Donald Trump has his critics, but he is not going to stop for his critics. But George, I'm sure you've been hearing this morning controversies revolving surrounding this pastor, Dr. Robert Jeffress. He's said some pretty inflammatory things about Mormons, about Catholics, about gays, about Islam. He said Islam, quote, is an evil religion that promotes pedophilia. About the Catholic Church, he has said that it represents the genius of Satan, and he said that gay people are filthy. So, of course, this is going to be a morning service, a private service for the family, but already a little bit of controversy on this inauguration morning, George.
Yeah, we are hearing that he was a longtime supporter of the president-elect, but he has stirred up some controversy as well. That is the scene at Blair House right now. President-elect expected to come out any moment. Cecilia Vega up on the west front of the Capitol, where everyone will be arriving around 11 a.m.
Yeah, George, and it's a little bit drizzly out here. I want to show you where it all happens. You can see they've got the plastic over the chairs there as we await for this ceremony to begin here. You know, we were talking a little bit earlier about how different this administration will be, and you're seeing that play out here on the steps of the Capitol today. We think back to Barack Obama's inauguration. I was at the one 4 years ago, and, you know, there were celebrities all over the place, and there was a lot of pomp and circumstance and a very celebratory feel. You feel a little bit of that today. We will see fewer celebrities. Donald Trump has said, and his team has made it very clear, that this inauguration for him is not about the celebrities. It's not about the show. He says this is about the people, and he wants to get right down to business, George. They've been saying this all along, and we heard him last night on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial talking about what comes next, and he said, you know, for all my supporters out there, you've been forgotten about, and I will not forget about you anymore. That has been the theme of his campaign, and frankly, it's one of the reasons he was elected, right? Tapping into that base of people in this country who feel like they've been forgotten about in the economy and here in this country, and they're pinning a lot of hopes on this soon-to-be 45th president of the United States, and that theme, Make America Great Again.
Motorcades are lining up, the Secret Service in place. You see the pastor there of St. John's preparing to greet the president-elect when he does arrive. He'll be coming, as we said, with his family. And as we see all this security, Pierre, Thomas, we know that this is blanketing the entire city, the entire capital. I don't think Pierre's with us. No, Pierre's not with us right now. We are keeping an eye on that motorcade. Paula Ferris, we do see Reverend Leon, who's preparing to meet the president-elect right now.
Yes, you can see members of the clergy just waiting in the doorway for the president-elect to arrive. Right now, getting out of this vehicle is Mike Pence and his wife. You can see them, the vice president, the future vice president, exiting the vehicle right now, walking into the church. Of course, Mike Pence was really, for the evangelical, we're just outside of a church, we're talking about religion. He was a big reason why evangelicals ended up voting for this Trump-Pence ticket. A lot of evangelicals had a hard time just justifying and coming to grips with voting for Trump, but Pence was a really big factor in that a motivating factor in voting for the ticket. Again, Donald Trump has yet to arrive, but the vice president has arrived. He's being greeted right now. He's here with his wife and his children, and we're keeping a close eye out. But you guys, I got to tell you, things have really, it's quite a scene now. It's getting quite busy outside of this church.
And it will continue as the morning progresses, especially when the president-elect and his family arrive in just a short time. And when that happens, we'll bring it to you live. Amy is out with many of the Trump supporters, and the drizzly weather and such is not keeping people away. What are you hearing, Amy?
Well, we are hearing a lot of music still. I think that's keeping everybody in pretty festive spirits. They've been blasting music, and people have been having some fun with that as they're dealing with the drizzle and the clouds and the cold. But we've seen some big, steady streams of people making their way down towards the Capitol, and they're expecting this entire area from the Capitol near to the Washington Monument to be filled with people, and they are very slowly bringing people in here. Heavy, heavy, heavy security this morning. We had some of our staff waiting for more than an hour to get into this part of the mall, and that's what they have to do. They go through every single bag, they're patting people down, and they're making sure they're allowing a few little umbrellas, which is good because of this rain, but we're starting to see people. Everyone seems extremely excited. They've got their phones out, they're taking pictures, they're waving at us right now, actually. Very excited. We see some of them in American flag hoodies, and people just making the trek from around the country to be here today to watch the man they voted for be sworn into office. Robin and George.
And we want to alert all of our local stations. We're going to be staying on the air live now as we await the departure of President-elect Trump and his family from Blair House, keeping an eye on that right now. They're going to be heading to St. John's Church, the beginning of these inaugural ceremonies. This morning, we just saw the Vice President-elect Mike Pence and his wife Karen head into the church. So we're getting close right now. The ceremony expected to begin right around 8:30 this morning, and we want to now go to Deb Roberts, who is down on the mall as well this morning. Good morning, Deborah.
George, I tell you, what a week and what a morning for the second most talked about Trump. Ivanka Trump has been tweeting about her excitement about relocating here to the nation's capital. And while she's accustomed to a life of public scrutiny, she admits that she is stepping into an overwhelmingly new world.
She was there at the very beginning.
Today, I have the honor of introducing a man who needs no introduction.
And when her father is sworn in as the 45th president.
So I'll come out with a quick little tag. I'm sorry? Okay, so to tell you just a little bit more, Ivanka Trump says she is really excited about this day. She obviously has stepped away from her father's business, from her business, to break her ties so that she can actually start off here on this inauguration day, beginning a new life with her father, trying to have some kind of an impact on the administration. But for now, George, she says her biggest worry is getting her kids settled, all three of them under the age of 6. Their biggest concern, she says, is getting a swing set